everything, Jesus.
Welcome to News Desk on Celebration TV. I am Comfort James.
And I'm Femi Marks.
And the news making the rounds.
Please stay with us as we bring you details.
Watch robust, objective, analytical, informative, educative, entertaining and inspiring news on Celebration TV News Desk.
Every weekday, 11 a.m. GMT+1. That is 11 a.m. GMT+1 on Mondays through Fridays.
You are welcome to Sports Corner. I am Ivan Agafe.
Celebration TV News Desk. The whole truth.
To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Edo State Governor, Ibikunle Amosu.
Government, community and religious leaders meet over Edo rising crime wave. Zuma before commission probing corruption claims. Biden, more people may die as Trump transition stalls. And Naira plunges to 475 as dollar demand rises. And decision day for Raw as Eagles seek redemption against Sierra Leone. Please stay with us as we bring you fascinating news for today. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back and thanks for joining us once again. Now the news in full. Government, community, religious leaders meet over Edo rising crime wave. The Edo State government has met with traditional religious and community leaders to tackle rising insecurity in the Ikpoba or her local government area. This is just as the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Johnson Kokumo, conveyed the approval of the deployment of the first batch of 877 of the 2,000 police constables who had their passing out parade on Saturday to some of the communities in the state. He said the men were drawn from various communities and would work with a joint patrol team comprising the military, Department of State Services, and the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. The stakeholders also inaugurated the Ikpoba Local Government Council Vigilante to assist security personnel in fighting crime in the area. The chairman of the Ikpoba Local Government Area, Dr. Eriko Sayande, said the recruited 70 members of Vigilante would assist conventional security agents in fighting crimes and paid monthly by the council. Moving forward quickly, 1.4 million teachers inadequate for 42 million pupils, says federal government. The federal government expressed concern over the inadequacy of qualified teachers in the country, saying that the 1.4 million teachers in system were not enough for the 42 million pupils in basic schools. The government called on states to engage successful candidates who partook in the federal teacher scheme examination. The Executive Secretary of the Universal Basic Education Commission, Dr. Hamid Boboye, stated visiting Abuja after monitoring the conduct of the FTS examination, which are the computer-based centers of the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board in Kolgo and Buari. The FTS examination, which took place simultaneously in 74 JAMB-approved centers in the country, aimed to assist states find teachers for rural schools. Boboye said although a total of 14,722 candidates had taken the 2020-2021 FTX examination, only 3,700 candidates, 100 per state, will be selected because of slim budget. Boboye, who said the FTS examination was an internship scheme, emphasized that giving permanent employment to successful candidates was at the discretion of the states. In another development, Lagos warns religious leaders against second COVID-19 wave. The Lagos State government has warned religious leaders in the state against a second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic, urging them to intensify safety protocols to avert the spread of the virus. The State Commissioner for Home Affairs, Anofiu Elegushi, spoke in Lagos at the 2020 International Day for Tolerance, while appealing to operators of worship centers to comply with the guidelines of the Nigerian Center for Disease Control. Elegushi said the state government might be forced to sanction any religious house that failed to comply with regulations. The commissioner stressed that this was no time to play with the safety of worshippers and residents. He admonished the people not to relent in supporting and understanding the efforts of the Lagos State government. He said they should not let down their guards and that they should not let down their guards and that they should not let down their guards, and he said they should not let down their guards and that the battle against this dreaded virus is not over. All guidelines and safety protocols of mitigating COVID-19 should still be stringently adhered to. Coming from around Africa quickly, Zuma before commissioning probing corruption claims. Former South African President Jacob Zuma appeared before a state commission investigating serious allegations of corruption during his tenure as head of state between 2009 and 2018. It was the first time Zuma had appeared before the judicial inquiry since he abandoned his testimony at the hearing more than a year ago. The commission has no powers to prosecute, however, other law enforcement agencies may follow up on information revealed at the commission and pursue criminal cases against those implicated. Zuma was forced to step down from his position as president in 2018 by his African National Congress Party amid allegations of fraud and corruption. On Monday, he launched an application for the chairman of commission, Deputy Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, to rescue himself from the inquiry, claiming Zondo was biased against him because they used to be close friends. Responding during Monday's proceedings, Zonda admitted to having a cordial relationship with Zuma, but said the claim they were friends was not accurate. And still coming from around Africa, African countries not progressing in good governance, report hazard. Governance progress slowed across Africa for the first time in a decade, even before the coronavirus pandemic hit, with commitment to democracy and civil rights faltering, a major report has said. The Mo Ibrahim Index of African Governance, published every 2 years, gives each country government a score according to criteria including anti-corruption measures, protections of civil liberties, and caring for the environment. Reports have it that more than 60% of Africans live in countries that made progress in good governance over the period 2010 through 2019. But progress has slowed in the last 5 years, and this year, for the first time in the last 10 years, the combined score for all the countries fell year on year, the Mo Ibrahim Foundation had it. The foundation, set up in 2006, focused on the need for good political leadership and public governance in Africa, cited growing curbs on people's ability to exercise their democratic rights and take part in civil society. Also this year, the incumbent presidents of Guinea and Ivory Coast succeeded in pushing through constitutional changes allowing them to stand for a third term, sparking deadly unrest, while adding their names to a long list of leaders with similar playbooks. Post-election clashes have claimed scores of lives in Ivory Coast and at least 21 in Guinea, where several opposition figures are in police custody over the violence. Since 2015, countries' calls for security and rule of law and participation have slowly worsened, while calls for rights and inclusion are falling more sharply, the report said. Only one country, Ethiopia, has made progress across all areas measured over a decade, and the report has finally said that the continent's second most populous country is not embroiled in a military conflict, pitting the federal government against the dissident northern region of Tigray. Across Africa, progress in some areas such as economic opportunity has come alongside worrying declines in participation, rights, inclusion, rule of law, and security, as the report has it. We'll go on a short break quickly. When we'll come back, we'll bring you updates from the United States of America. Let's see how what Biden has said so far, that more people may die as Trump transition stalls. Stay with us, please.
gives you interest on your investment.
It's time for divinity to birth an opportunity through the instrumentality of humanity. Join the Restoration Apostle Johnson Suleiman 2 days apostolic invasion at the Shepherd's House Assembly before Resettlement Junction, before ShopRite, Apple, Abuja, Nigeria. Theme: Immortality, Divinity in Humanity. 18th and 19th November 2020 by 5 p.m. daily. Ministers Conference holds on the 19th at 9 a.m. prompt. Host Dr. Joshua and Pastor Mrs. Jackie Talina. Apostolic Invasion 2020. You shall encounter divinity.
You're welcome back, and now updates from the United States of America. Biden, more people may die as Trump transition stalls. Joe Biden has warned people may die if his incoming presidential administration continues to be impeded by Donald Trump. Speaking in Delaware, the president-elect said coordination was needed to tackle the coronavirus outbreak. He called President Trump's refusal to acknowledge he lost the vote despite calls to do so from both sides totally irresponsible. The Trump campaign launched a flurry of legal challenges in the wake of the 3rd November vote to contest ballot counts. The General Services Administration, GSA, the government agency tasked with beginning the transition process for a new president, has yet to recognize Mr. Biden and his running mates Kamala Harris as winners, leaving them without access to sensitive government briefings that are normally provided to an incoming administration. Aides to the Democratic president-elect have said that Mr. Trump's refusal to engage in a transition also means Mr. Biden's team has been excluded from planning around a vaccination distribution strategy. Calling nationwide vaccine distribution a huge undertaking, Mr. Biden said that if his team had to wait until 20th January, his presidential inauguration, until they begin work on the distribution program, they would be behind by over a month and a half. More updates from the United Kingdom. Boris Johnson called Scottish devolution disaster. Boris Johnson has come under fire for reportedly telling a visual meeting of Conservative Member of Parliament that devolution had been a disaster in Scotland. Mr. Johnson also reportedly described it as predecessor Tony Blair's biggest mistake. The SNP and Labour have both criticized Mr. Johnson, but government sources suggest that the Prime Minister had been making more of a reference to the SNP's running of Scotland than devolution in general. Mr. Johnson was in a Zoom meeting with Tory Member of Parliament representing dozens of seats in Northern England on Monday, when he is said to have made the remarks. This comes 6 months before vital elections right across the UK, important particularly in Scotland, just when the SNP has been starting to warm up its campaign, and just when discussions about how the UK government ought to respond are taking place too. Mr. Blair's Labour government brought in devolution for Scotland in 1999, including the setting up of Parliament in Edinburgh. A Downing Street source said the Prime Minister has always supported devolution, but Tony Blair failed to foresee the rise of separatists in Scotland. And quickly, we go to business news right away. Naira plunges to 475 as dollar demand rises. The Naira weakened further on Monday, trading at 475 to the United States dollar in the parallel market amid a rise in demand for the greenback. The local currency, which has come under pressure in recent days, fell to 470 per dollar on Friday from 468 on Thursday. The Naira was trading at 462 to 463 at the unofficial market at the start of this month. The Central Bank of Nigeria has kept the official exchange rate at 379 Naira per dollar since August, when the Naira was devalued for the second time this year from 360 per dollar. It was first devalued to 360 in March from 306. The forex reserves fell to $35.60 billion as of November 13, 2020, from $35.69 billion on October 28. The latest data from Central Bank of Nigeria showed. He said demand pressures were coming end users and those whose obligations had matured and in need of forex to meet the obligations. The MD, CEO Financial Derivatives Company Limited, Mr. Bismarck Ruwani, had said earlier this month that the Naira would weaken in the parallel market and likely depreciate to 470 to 475 against the dollar in November and December. He said with oil prices still under pressure again, the supply of forex into the country will be further limited. He said the resumption in international flights, trading and manufacturing activities will heighten forex demand pressures. The Deputy Governor Corporate Service Directorate, CBN, Mr. Edward Adamu, said the demand pressure in the forex market had remained elevated in the face of declining accretion to external reserves and declining private inflow. And still on business news, oil price nears $44. Oil prices have neared $44 on the back of hopes that the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries production quotas will increase amid the coronavirus pandemic to sustain price pressure. Supports have aided that Brent crude was trading at $43.30 per barrel on Monday, with 1.22% increase after closing Friday at $42.78 a barrel. Similarly, West Texas Intermediates traded at $40.73 per barrel, recording for 1.49% increase after ending the previous session at $40.13 a barrel. Oil markets began the week on an optimistic upswing with hopes that OPEC will actually keep the current production costs as global demand remains weak amid increasing coronavirus cases. We're going to short break quickly. When we come back, we'll be getting details of sport news. Please don't go anywhere.
gives you interest on your investment.
It's time for divinity to birth an opportunity through the instrumentality of humanity. Join the Restoration Apostle Johnson Suleiman 2 days apostolic invasion at the Shepherd's House Assembly before Resettlement Junction, before ShopRite, Apple, Abuja, Nigeria. Theme: Immortality, Divinity in Humanity. 18th and 19th November 2020 by 5 p.m. daily. Ministers Conference holds on the 19th. 18th at 9 a.m. prompt. Host Dr. Joshua and Pastor Mrs. Jackie Talina. Apostolic Invasion 2020. You shall encounter divinity.
Welcome to Sports News, and on Sports News today happens to be decision day for Roll as Eagles seek redemption against Sierra Leone. Nigeria faced Sierra Leone today in a match day 4 of the 2022 African Cup of Nations qualifier game at the Siaka Stevens Stadium in Freetown, and it could be Janus Roll's last game in charge of the Super Eagles. Rosme surprisingly blew a 4-goal lead at the Samuel Ogbonge Stadium, Benin, Edo State, Nigeria, last Friday to play a 4-4 draw against the Leon Star. Immediately after the game, angry fans were left furious at the team's inability to win in their last 3 games and slammed the German tactician and his men for their lethargic performance, with some calling for the sack of the 61-year-old. Minister of Youth and Sport Development Sunday Diary, while expressing his disappointment at the team's sport display, said a decision will be made on Raw's future after the game in Freetown. President of the Nigerian Football Federation, Amaju Pinnick, also admitted that last Friday's result in Benin was the worst since he became president of the federation. The Eagles knows that only a convincing win against Sierra Leone later today will help them to redeem their image, because anything short of that could be the end of the war. Quickly, in another sports news again, AfroBasket. The Tigers camp opens November 23rd in Kigali. The Nigeria Basketball Federation has announced the final campaign for the 2021 FIBA AfroBasket qualifiers will commence on November 23, 2020. Making this known in Abuja, the NBBF Secretary General Afolabi Oluwayemi Olabisi said players expected to fly in Kigali from their various bases. On the duration of the final campaign exercise, NBBF President Amaju Musa Kida revealed that the Federation would have loved to have a longer final training camp for the qualifiers, but due to the prevailing factors, camp will have to open 4 days before the team's first game. The NBBF president also explained that the financial implication of the Federation also discouraged any attempt to embark on the extended final campaign exercise. The team is grouped alongside hosts Rwanda, Mali, and Algeria, who recently withdrew from the qualifiers taking place between November 27 to 29 in Kigali. And we have come to the end of the news on Celebration Television News Desk. In case you're just joining us, here's the news headlines recap. Government, community and religious leaders meet over Edo rising crime wave. Zuma before commission probing corruption claims. Biden, more people may die as Trump transition stalls. Naira plunges to 475 as dollar demand rises. And decision day for Raw as Eagles seek redemption against Sierra Leone. And quickly we have photo of the day. Can you see that? Simply depicts that sometimes those trying to bring you down don't realize that you are part of the reason they are still standing. Drop your comment on our social media platforms at Celebration TV on Facebook, Celebration TV, Instagram, My Celebration TV, Twitter at My Celebration TV, YouTube, Celebration TV. Always remember that the continuous transformation of our society is a collective responsibility of all. No matter the office you hold as a nation's president, a thought leader, an opinion molder, a character builder, a professional, or as a person pursuing passion, you have a duty to give your all to making the society a better place for us and the generations to come. Play your part and do it with all diligence. Thank you once again for staying with us on our news desk. I remain Nicholas Akosile Walter. Thanks for staying with us. To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Edo State Governor, Ibikule Amoso.